See, I think for me, I was very fortunate. I got the blessings from my father and his experience, and I learned from him. At the same time, most of the seniors, they deserve to be respected. So we need to respect seniors, listen to them. We might not agree with what they say. I might not agree because I'm probably one of the most vocal people in the cabinet. But they do make sense. They do talk with the right thing most of the time. Implementation wise, we might have different opinions, but it's a good experience for me, and we should not judge someone from their age to be in the cabinet, right? You have many more younger leaders in the world political field, in the political arena, who has done really well at a younger age. So it's all about experience. But as a youngsters, we should listen. We should listen and understand, and also see what people needs. Then the age will not be a big barrier. See, I must say I've been very much fortunate that all seven has been elected to the parliament by the people. And I'm the youngest, but I'm one of the highest preferential vote holders in parliament. So I believe that itself is something for me to be proud of. And I must thank my voters, people in Hambantota, who has always believed in me, and my father, my grandfather, and I'm the third generation. So it's always, as I said, it's a blessing. I would say I'm very much blessed, and I have my ups and downs being a Rajapaksa, being judged for no reason, being criticized, which is okay, it's politics, but end of the day, sometimes you wonder, why are you getting into this? To be criticized for no reason. And sometimes if you go through social media, my 2-month-old son also being criticized. So that is Sri Lankan politics, but I went through that. But I hope my son doesn't have to go through that in the future. We will fight and be with the system to change the system. But we have to accept all that. But as I said, it's a blessing to be guided under my father, and of course my uncles. So they have a lot of experience. My father has been 50 years in parliament. And all four of them in parliament at this stage, they have different personalities and different things to learn from them, and different ways of handling issues. So which gives me a bigger opportunity when Shashi, who is my elder brother, cousin brother, and he has his own way of dealing with things. This is a good experience for me to learn from them and share experience. So it's publicly, it has pluses and minuses because, as I said, you have been criticized for your surname, and I think that's part of Sri Lankan politics. We have a society who look for a surname before marriages, so you can't help it anyway, right? So you have to live with that.
Yeah.
See, coalition is must. Politics is all about making alliances, right? It's part of democracy. And it's always the winner of election is decided by people's vote, but at the same time about your partners. How you have coalitions with your coalition partners, especially for us, because we believe in the leftist political system, and we believe in political coalitions. And my father especially, he strongly believed that a government has to be a coalition government, and has to have partnership. So why are you on a coalition? That's the biggest question to be answered. If you look at last government, they were in a coalition with the UMP and SLFP last government, and JVP TNA was indirectly part of that. Sadly, that destroyed those parties, but they were part of it. So they are not because of policies. SLFP, UMP has totally two different paths of economic, two different paths. They're in two different paths. And the economic policies are different, their foreign policy is different, their political agenda is different, but they got together for one common agenda to destroy Rajapaksas. So that's their coalition, right? But you look at my father's coalition in 2005 with Karu Jayasuriya, Honorable Speaker, former Speaker. They had differences, but they got together simply to destroy LTT, nothing else. But after defeating war, they walked out. Because that was their agenda. So our coalitions has always been national oriented. So we come together for policy basis. So we believe in certain policies and we make alliances based on that policies. We won't lie to each other. We can't say, listen, we will agree on this, but publicly we go and say we don't agree. No, we can't do that. That's what happened in 2015 when my father was asked to give a letter by a minority political party leader saying that we will have a different AGA division in East or a different district in East. Just a letter. He said, in front of me, he said, just give me a letter, I will support you. I don't need it. My father said, no, I can't. Because I can't give you one thing and do another thing. If I promise, I promise. So the political alliances has to be based on that. So you have to have trust, policy base, and your agenda has to be your people. Not just to defeat the government and just get in power and say, listen, what are we going to do now? That coalition will not work. So future coalitions, I believe, are at least us, we will only get into coalitions based on policies. See, there are a lot of people who had that ambition, and most of them has failed. Very few has succeeded. So I think in politics, you cannot, in modern politics, this is not politics we see 20 years ago or 10 years ago, right? It's truly different politics. Dimensions have changed a lot. So I don't think anyone can say, yeah, my ambition is just to be the president. No, you can't. The modern political platform or the society will not allow you to do that simply because of the society. It's how it is now. If you look at the Western countries, the certain people who are tipped to be presidents, they failed, miserably failed. Same with Sri Lanka. So my faith, my destiny will decide where I will go in my political career. But definitely, I have a task now. I have given a challenge. I have given a portfolio responsibility. It's my duty to fulfill that. But end of the day, where my career is going to end is all depend on my destiny. It has to be policy based, and we have to look at this changing the system, because every politician you talk, not me, go and talk to all 225 will say we have to change the system, but no one takes the leadership. So I think President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has taken that leadership to change the system and think out of the box. So this is the time for Sri Lanka to think out of the box and look for new markets, look for new economic alliances, have a broader foreign policy and not to be aligned, but to be non-aligned, but have multilateralism, a multilateral relationship based on trade and commerce, not to get involved with any military pact with any part of the world, because we are too small to do that. But have your foreign policy properly, a proper foreign policy non-aligned, but have multilateralism, multilateral partnership based on trade and commerce. Then concentrate on your people. Deliver what you promise. Look at basic needs of the people. People are suffering. That's a reality. I mean, we cannot hide that fact. The COVID that hit so hard, we might have a bigger issue in 10 years to face on malnutrition in rural areas. So we need to be aware of that. But deliver what you promise. Do what you have told, what you've been elected to do. And at the same time, look at the interest of your people, not your party, not your alliances abroad, not your geopolitical agenda. It has to be purely Sri Lankan based agenda where we look at our people. And I'm sure Sri Lankan people will stand by you if you do that.